Frank Manera was a patient at the Mount Massive Asylum under the control of the Murkoff Corporation. He was subjected to Project Walrider and the Morphogenic Engine program, and was first admitted to the facility on the 1st of November 2010. He soon developed a taste for a unique delicacy that was human flesh, and after the facility fell apart, he went about the asylum fulfilling his dark desire as he so pleased. Frank Manera was first admitted to the asylum in late 2010 on the 1st of November. He was immediately subjected to the Morphogenic Engine program as a part of Project Walrider, and by 2012 Manera had dropped from 228 pounds down to 155 pounds. This dramatic physical change was followed by becoming extremely lethargic, coupled with the fact that he would become non-responsive to many of the doctor's attempts to communicate with him. The only times Manera would muster any kind of response is when he made his interest known for the hypnotherapy script Pattern 9, which itself concerned drinking blood from the chest of a sleeping man. This shows just how early on the cannibalistic tendencies emerged within Frank, while suffering through the Morphogenic Engine's effects. Frank would refuse to be cleaned and hated the idea of bathing. This followed with the disdain towards having his hair cut and groomed in any way. Eventually the staff of the facility would have to force feed Frank, as his taste for human blood and flesh became an obsession, and he would refuse anything but humans to ease his hunger. It was even noted in his patient files that there were times where his appetite could be met, but when it could not, force feeding would have to be used. By the time of the events of Whistleblower, Frank Manera appears to be an emaciated, pale and malnourished man whose facial hair is as a raggedy mess, and Frank chooses to remain almost completely naked aside from a small set of orange underwear hiding his privates. Manera, once covered in tattoos, now has the markings masked by a number of brutal slicings in his skin, namely on his stomach and chest, with almost his entire body covered in grease, blood, sweat, dirt, grime, and I'm sure many other bodily fluids. One thing of note, however, is that his body seems to be left almost untouched by the mutagenic effects of the Morphogenic Engine program. Instead, a lot of side effects for Frank seem to be through his mental state or even a mutation in the structure of the brain that could have played a part in his pure psychotic nature. Frank has a strange personality to say the least, and his one sole goal in life appears to revolve around food that is exclusively human. However, despite being a hungry, vicious cannibal, Manera seems to actually have a great passion for his food, as he is seen defending it when Waylon first encounters him, where he states that he loves the corpse and that he is about to consume. He really drives this idea home further when we see his great disappointment time and time again after each time Waylon escapes his grasp, with him even stating he found Waylon gorgeous and that he loved him. Almost nothing is known about Frank Manera before the events of the game and DLC Outlast Whistleblower. However, as previously stated, he was first admitted to the Mount Massive Asylum on the 1st of November 2010, and by 2012 he was already suffering great mental and physical changes as a result of the Morphogenic Engine program. Eventually, once the Walrider broke containment and set about killing both doctors and patients alike, Frank was able to escape his own confinement and was able to begin freely wandering the hallways of the facility in order to stalk meals that he had desired for so long. The first time he is seen in the game is when the main protagonist of Whistleblower, Waylon Park, encounters Manera revving up a chainsaw in order to cut through a person he had killed in the kitchen and cafeteria area of the facility. He places the body on a table and proceeds to explode the corpse's head within the kitchen's microwave. When Frank spots Wayland watching, he screams at him and tries to convince Wayland that doing this to this person, who was formerly a Murkoff employee, was an act of love, before beginning to rip pieces of tissue from the body and devouring them. Wayland leaves in disgust shortly after. After this event, Frank Manera seems to develop some weird obsession with Wayland, as he is seen patrolling the hallways in search of him. Eventually, their two paths will become intertwined at the morgue, when out of nowhere, Manera bursts through a door, knocking Wayland onto one of the morgue's tables. Before deciding to begin the process of slicing Wayland up with his buzzsaw, Frank decides it would be more prudent for Wayland to cook before being made a meal. So he moves Wayland's morgue table into the cremation furnace, switching it on and awaiting his meal to ripen. However, Wayland is able to break out of the opposite side of the wall due to a few broken bricks, which allow him to escape the cremation chamber. This infuriated Manera, who shouts to Wayland that "you were mine," before walking out to find another way around to him. Frank would come into contact with Wayland only once more, and that would be just before Wayland could escape his grasp for the final time. This again enraged Manera, as he had lost his meal he had so wished to consume. However, this is the end of the road in terms of information we have on Frank Manera. He is not seen again in any current media of Outlast. But what did you guys think? What other videos would you guys like to see? If you had any ideas or questions you would like answered, please meet me down in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and go check out Attack Lauren Explained on Twitter and Discord. If you would like to support myself and the channel's content, as well as get behind the scenes and early content, as well as other rewards, you can become a patron. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.